Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. I am in a casting mood once again and bring you a second game in one day. Oh god, this is a wonderful moment in time. However, this game does include the guy from last game, OgsMc. If you didn't watch the last game against Thorzane, that was an MLG match. Go watch it. This is also an MLG match, and actually, it might not be. Wait, I don't know. I am loser. I am a loser. I am LosirA. I don't. This is a Zerg player. That's about all I know. I don't know this guy. I know he's popular. I know every game that OgsMc plays. Sorry, I know that every game that anybody plays against this guy gets a lot of views, gets a lot of publicity. But I've never seen him play before. But guys, don't hate me. Don't hate me, because as I cast more games with pros in it, I will get to learn them better. I will get to talk about them more. I mean, I learned a lot from casting the DreamHack series. I was pretty much naked in terms of player database. That is what introduced me to OgsMc. Other than that, I just kind of followed the players that I watched personally. Like, I did watch Idra. I don't like Idra, but I watched him. I like, people like Huck. I've never been a fan of Noni. I liked him at first when he first designed those Phoenix plays. Oh man, Noni was my hero, but then he started to really fall down a slippery slope. Always loved TLO. I'm really a fan of Jinro right now. I really like Jinro a lot. One of my favorite Terran players ever. Marine King Prime. I don't watch him too much, but I watch a lot of people who play to his style, and I really like what I see from them. Mouse Mana and Nama, I love those guys. Now I'm just kind of shooting off names, but I hope you guys like some of the players I like, because I do tend to cast the players that I know and like the best. However, anytime I do see a game that is rated 10 out of 10 on Gosu Gamers, this is one of those games, man, I jump on that shit. And through doing that, I've actually been able to cast a lot of games that have turned out to be very epic, and I got to them before most of the big name casters like Husky and HD have gotten to those games. So I am sticking to my tried and true method. Like that game was Stefano, the Millennium match, Millennium Stefano versus Millennium something else. There are lings in OgsMc's base, and I didn't notice that because I was on a rant. Oh no, sorry, they're in. See, look at this. I gotta pay attention. I gotta pay attention. Those lings are actually in IMLosirA's base, so I'm gonna, I'm officially going to start watching this game and talking about this game, so stick with me here. We do see a Forge Fast expand from OgsMc, and his base will actually be up before IMLosirA's base, so if you're wondering how to open against Zerg, this seems to be OgsMc's method of doing it. Forge Fast expands tend to be punishable by one base roach busts. We've seen that with Idra versus Huck. Idra very much punishes Huck every time he tries to fast expand. They have some sort of rivalry, and anytime they play, like Idra wants to just humiliate Huck. He wants to crush him so bad, and he tends to one base him, which is funny because Huck has trouble dealing with it. I don't think Huck's beaten Idra in a very long time. The last very memorable battle of Huck versus Idra that Huck won was when Huck hallucinated a bunch of Void Rays late game, and Idra thought they were real and knew he couldn't deal with that many Void Rays. He GG'd. He just rage quit. He saw that many. Did he even GG? I don't think he GG'd. He probably didn't GG. So last game I was talking about how OgsMc likes to go air against Zerg, and you will see that here. He tends to go with one Void Ray. Oh, look at him completely wall off. That's interesting. There's no space here. He does leave one probe on the outside, though, so that he can continue to drop pylons and etc., etc. Now, back to what I was saying. He does like to go with, he gets a Void Ray first. He chronos that sucker. No, he doesn't chrono that out. He builds one Void Ray. He rallies it to his opponent's base, and he goes right away. Then he chronos out a Phoenix and sends it there right away as well. And the Phoenix arrives at the same time as the Void Ray, and it is quite the queen killer. So do we see that Void Ray coming out? He's gonna rally. He's thinking about it. Yeah, here comes the Void Ray. So he is kind of just scouting around with this probe. I hope for OgsMc's sake that this probe doesn't go down to lings, because, well, he needs this probe. He's walled himself in. Having a probe on the outside is important. But two lings did see it pass on the tower. They're going to come down here and look for it, because they don't want any proxy pylons floating around. And they will find it. There it is. Yeah, he's coming to hunt it down. So good work by IMLosirA, keeping his eye on the mini-map. A lot of players would miss that. Maybe not pro players, but I mean you, me, people on the ladder. They don't see things on the mini-map a lot. You can fly things right in their face. Now OgsMc is going to get spotted. Why did he choose this flight path for that void ray? I don't know. We're going to see LosirA spring into action here. I think he studies OgsMc because right away he's getting that Hydralisk Den. It was down even before he scouted any kind of air. So let's see IMLosirA's visuals. No, he hasn't seen anything inside OgsMc's base. The Void Ray is going to work. OgsMc does have a second Void Ray. He's going for Overlords. He's not even going to try to kill the Queens, which is a good decision because he's not going to be able to. I think the clue to IMLosirA that he was going air was that he completely walled off. And a Nidus network is going to be in production right now. I believe it's going to be placed right here from this Overlord to be used against OgsMc, where he is not watching even a little bit. And he's got no ground army to run in and kill that Nidus Worm. Excuse me while I cough. Tried to cover the mic just a little bit there. A little bit of a tickle in my throat. We are seeing gateways going down for OgsMc. Now there are 3 Void Rays going to be denying gas, which is pretty big because Hydras are expensive. And man, the DPS output on Hydras is unreal. 12 damage at weapons 1 and range of 6 and a huge attack rate, 0.83. Man, what an attack speed. That is insane. Hydra are so good. Now the one thing that Hydra don't have going for them is any kind of tanking ability whatsoever. Hydras, I think they're medium armor, but yeah, because they do take that bonus damage from siege tanks. Oh, the Nidus is over here. Oh, and a second Nidus over here. They're going back into the Nidus Worm. He realizes that that Nidus is going to work. OgsMc sees it with that probe. What is he going to do about it? Does he even notice? I don't think he knows. OgsMc is going to have to pull his line. He might lose his Nexus. OgsMc coming in with Void Rays and Phoenix, a couple of Zealots, and he won't have enough to deal with this. I can't imagine how OgsMc is going to stop this. There are, wow, so many units pouring in for LosirA, but like I was saying, Hydra just don't tank damage well, and probes are killing them quite effectively. OgsMc is actually cleaning this up. He does manage to kill everything in here. The Hydra go down, although more Hydra pouring in. The Phoenix trying to pick them up, trying to do more damage. OgsMc needs to warp in more Zealots, more something. That Void Ray goes down, an Immortal coming in. Phoenix picking up the Hydra to make sure they can't do damage. And he needs to clean this Nidus up. The Immortal does take out the Nidus. What a great decision. Immortals are not good against Hydra, but it does kill that Nidus Canal quickly. Now the rest of the Hydra are going to pour out towards the front door, so this is turning into a 2-prong quickly. However, the inside of his base is cleaned up. There are creep tumors here, which is hilarious. He's now spreading creep throughout OgsMc's base just from that Nidus Worm. And the Immortal cannot take those Hydra by itself, and more units are pouring out of this Nidus Worm. This is an epic, epic situation that these two players have put themselves in. Now, the Zergling's kind of getting ahead of themselves. A gateway does go down, and OgsMc's production is slowly slipping. He did lose, no, he didn't lose a Nexus, sorry, but he lost a lot of Harvesters, and now production, I think, is in the Zerg's favor. OgsMc is going to have to bring this fight to the Zerg's base if he wants any hope of winning. I don't know what his plan is, how he hopes to get himself out of this situation. This is dire. These cannons will help, but they won't be able to do very much. The force fields are going to be what's key. He's got to use those force fields properly. When the Zerg decides to commit to this is when OgsMc needs to drop those. He needs to cut the army in half. He needs to stop it from retreating. Now creep is pincering him from both sides. Has he cleaned up the creep on this side? No, he hasn't. Really, he needs to stop this creep. It won't be able to push any farther because of the cannons. If these cannons go down, OgsMc will be pushed farther back. There's so many Hydra, and there's no way OgsMc can hold this off with the amount of gateway units and Phoenix he has. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. He's trying to bait the Hydra into coming through this choke so he can cut it in half. IMLosirA is actually backing up. No, he's got a new Nidus inside OgsMc's base. I didn't even notice that. And look at this. How is OgsMc going to stop this? Look at the force fields. Those are pretty nice force fields. But will it be enough? He's going to lose another gateway, and more creep is just ensuing OgsMc's base. How he's even survived this long is beyond me. I thought the first one would get him, and oh, the queen goes down. He's got almost no more force fields on those sentries. He's being very conservative with those force fields, which is so impressive. Not dropping them before he needs them. And how is he going to deal with this? The Immortal does go down. More Stalkers being warped in. Does he have upgrades? No, he does not. But neither player do. Those Hydra are eating up OgsMc GG's and takes a loss to another Zerg player. IMLosirA does dominate OgsMc in this game, but brilliantly done. OgsMc stupidly letting this Nidus get finished. If he didn't let that finish, he would be in amazing shape, but he did in fact allow it to finish, and I think IMLosirA just played this brilliantly, getting the Hydras preemptively when he saw a wall off. He knew the air was probably going to come, and even if it didn't, Hydras are never a bad unit to have. Oh my goodness, what a great game from IMLosirA. I didn't know him coming into this game, but I will never forget him. OgsMc goes down. This is StarCraft Inc. that you were watching. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.